What's up? We're doing something a bit different today. For like the first time ever, I'm not actually in the office, which is exciting, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about today is the fact that I have bought a van. And she might not look like much. Not yet anyway. Because she's going to be turned into a micro camper. And what this video is today, essentially, is part one of however many parts this series is going to be on this channel, of me turning this little old Vauxhall Combo Postman Pat van into a micro camper for whatever the hell I might need it for. So what this video is today is obviously not doing the whole conversion, because that's impossible to do in one video. But part one is literally just going to be essentially talking about the van, my plans with it. I'm going to be transparent with everything, prices, everything. And maybe, just maybe today, we might get something done. Who knows? But this is so exciting. I cannot wait. So let's just crack on. I'll stop talking and we'll get on with it. So first things first, I should probably introduce the van. This is a 2008 Vauxhall Corsa Combo van. In the UK, this is what our mail service used to deliver our post, essentially. She is a bit of a fixer-upper. I bought it off a roofer, so he's a tradesman, he's in the trade business. He used this as a work van for like 7 years until he bought something new, which is bigger, because he needed to fit more stuff in it, I guess. So it has been used, it has been abused. It's got 180,000 miles on the clock. It's a 1.3 litre diesel, tiny little turbo, but it does actually shift quite well. And it's quite a rare one because it has the Tiptronic automatic gearbox and air conditioning, which is something you don't really get in vans. Now, I'm not 100% sure if you can see this in the video, but here on the door, there's a few other spots around the van as well that have it. You can still see the branding from the guy that I bought it off, where he took his stickers off the side of it, obviously to sell it, because I don't want to be driving around with his business on it. And kind of for that reason, but also for a couple of other reasons, one of my biggest plans for this van is giving it a whole wrap. And the colour I'm thinking, you can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments and tell me what you think I should do, but I was thinking like a really dark matte grey would look absolutely badass. That, for one, will get rid of his branding, and two, that was 3 fingers, but for two, the second reason is the fact that it's quite an old looking van. Like, it looks dated, it looks a bit beaten where it is a bit beaten. So giving it a wrap, which is cheaper than a paint job, we'll just give it a whole fresh look and maybe, just maybe, make it look newer and fairly modern. Another thing I'm planning is changing these wheels, because they're just like standard, nearly 20-year-old Steelies. There's 3 hubcaps, 1 missing. So one thing I should probably do is rip all these hubcaps off to make all of the wheels match for now. But that's just going to be a lot of silver. But either way, what I'm planning for these wheels is just getting some nice black wheels. Probably matte black to go with the matte wrap that I'm going to do. And then on top of that, I'm going to get some dirt tyres or mud tyres, whatever you want to call them, because I live in the UK, obviously, and everywhere is just wet and muddy all the time. Apart from today, we've got like a really nice day of sunlight today, but as you can see, it's still muddy. And right here in the back of the van is where the magic's gonna happen. Obviously, we haven't got much space here. It is a small van, so it is gonna be a small camper, so I haven't got the luxury of being able to have loads of space to add loads of different things and have loads of different ideas. But a couple of the ideas I've got to turn this into a micro camper / day camper is I wanna get a bed here, which is one of those pull-out ones that you push it in, it turns into like a sofa or a single bed. You pull it out, it's a double bed. And then over here, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, but there's a choice of a few things. A couple of them are these. I'm either going to get like a cupboard unit type thing with a worktop on it that I can use as a worktop. I can put an air fryer on it. I could put a toaster on it. I could put you name it. I could put all these things on it just to use for daily cooking tasks and writing tasks, because if I'm sat here on my little sofa thing, like, it's right next to me, and then essentially I can just sit and do work in the van. Like, there's a things that I can do with that. Or I'm thinking I could add a unit here that has a sink and a cooker and a mini fridge, like a mini pantry underneath it to keep cans of beans in, because I love beans because I'm British. And then there's a few ideas, but I haven't got the luxury of a big space, like I said, so I do have to keep things minimal. I could get a shower because I am planning on getting solar panels on the roof with a leisure battery and power inverters and stuff, just so this can be self-sustainable and I can be off grid for a couple of days at a time if I really want to. So I could get one of those showers that attaches to the back door. They heat up via the solar panels, and then I can just stand in the wilderness, bollock naked, and spray myself down because I'm filthy. That essentially gives you a quick rundown on the van itself and a few of my ideas that I've had. Obviously, things are going to change and I'm going to come up with more ideas and I'm going to have more information to give you, and more things are probably going to go wrong with this in the process. But that basically covers the introduction. So the first call to action is to clean this bitch because she's filthy. And then I've ordered some sound deadening from Amazon because obviously where this van is a shell, it's very, very noisy inside. You've got road rumble, you've got the cage that's in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a cage behind the seats that rattles a little bit. So I'm waiting for that stuff to be delivered from Amazon. It should come today. And then if it does come in time, before dark, I'm gonna try and get some of that in if I can get the van cleaned in the back beforehand. So enough talking, let's just crack on with actually trying to sort this thing out. So the plan now is literally I'm going to try and strip out the entire back of the van, all of these plastic panels off the sides of the walls and the doors. I'm going to try and rip up this rubber mat at the bottom, and I'm literally going to get the pressure washer and I'm going to spray the shit out of it. And then the reason I'm taking all these panels off is, again, like I said earlier, I've got some sound deadening coming. So I need to expose all of the bare metal to be able to put this sound deadening in place and deaden all of the sound to the best of my ability and to the best that this van can possibly handle. I'm going to level with you. It's actually been a few months since I recorded the start of this video, and I didn't finish it because when I got home and started putting the sound deadening in, I didn't realise my mics died 5 minutes in, so I had no audio for like an hour and a half of filming. So I was just like, you know what? This can wait. But anyway, there's been a few changes of plans, there's been a few setbacks, and some progress has been made. We'll start with the setbacks. Obviously mechanical issues. I said from the start this van was a project, so all of that was expected. Nothing major. I had to get a new EGR valve because that's just something that goes in these vans apparently. I had to get a whole new braking system, so that was another few £100. That was just to get it through the MOT. So a few little bits like that here and there, and then I've still got a couple of little bits that I need to do. Not priorities, but they do need to be done soon. So that's the boring stuff out of the way. So onto the progress that's been made. I bought some new wheels for the van. They're not on the van yet because the ones that I bought actually ended up coming with track tyres, and it's winter in the UK. Track tyres on wet UK winter roads is not going to be a good mix, especially in a van that barely has traction control from the start. So they'll be going on the summer, but I got them for an absolute steal. Facebook Marketplace, godsend. So I got 6 wheels, 4 with tyres. These tyres alone, bearing in mind, are about £130 each. So I got 6, 4 with tyres. They've just been refurbed, just been powder coated, never been used, and were taken off a Porsche 924. I got all of that for £120. How? That's nuts. So they are just sat waiting to be put on the van because they're going to make the van look so good because they are very nice wheels. I've also changed the front bumper. As you saw in the B-roll at the beginning of this video, the bumper was black. One of those shitty plastic black front bumpers that a van has that looks very, very vanny. However, the front end of this van is exactly the same as a Vauxhall Corsa C. which basically means that I could take any parts from the front end of a Vauxhall Corsa C and clip them straight onto the front of my van. So when I found a Vauxhall Corsa C front bumper on eBay for £15, I had to nab that up, and it was only in Bristol, so it was like a 45-minute drive from my house, so it basically cost me nothing, essentially. So I drove there, picked that up. It wasn't the correct colour. It didn't actually have any paint on it, I don't think. I'm not sure what was going on with it, but I had to spray that up myself. I don't think I did a terrible job. I got a silver colour that was the closest match I could find to the silver that the van currently is. And then I sprayed this up. I did a fairly good job. And I know that the paint isn't a perfect match, but it's close enough at a glance. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I do plan on wrapping the van eventually. So just having a slightly off silver to what the silver of the van is temporarily isn't the end of the world, because the end goal is for it all to be wrapped one colour anyway. It was super easy to fit. Literally all I had to do was take my old bumper off and then literally put this one exactly in place. Everything fit exactly the same. All the clips were the same. All the mounting bolts and holes and everything were the same. So it was literally like a 15-minute job tops. I got some new seats. I got some Audi TT heated leather seats for £50 on Facebook Marketplace again. They bolted straight in pretty much, so the front two bolts on the seats, they go straight in. And then I did actually have to drill holes in the back of the rails for these seats to be able to get them to bolt in properly. But that wasn't the end of the world. That didn't take me too long to do. And now I have some really nice heated leather seats in the front of the van, as opposed to those shitty fabric seats that come with it that were old and full of dust and crap. I haven't wired in the heated modules yet, because I just thought I'm just going to wait a bit, wait till the electrics for the actual camper van build out are in, and then I'll wire it all up to that, and then it's all going to flow a lot nicer and easier. Then the final modification I've done so far is changing the steering wheel. So the first one I had, it was like one of those horrible cheap foam steering wheels that I could literally just like take a gouge out of with a knife, and it would just be like a foam hole in the middle. It was horrible. So what I managed to find, Facebook Marketplace again, was a Vauxhall Astra H VXR steering wheel, 50 quid. That was literally a case of literally take my old steering wheel off, disconnect the airbag, connect the airbag back up to this new wheel, and it all just went back in place, and it looks 100 times better. And then on to what the change of plans are. So it's not necessarily a change of plans as to what's happening inside the van. It's still going to be the same. Only, like I said at the beginning of this video, I was going to do it all myself, DIY, and figure it out all on my own and do it like just as I can. No longer is that happening, because after filming the start of this video, obviously I was like, right, van life, I need to start following people on Instagram and finding like van life people and conversion people just to get ideas and all that kind of stuff. And I actually stumbled across a company that's very local to me that specialise in camper van conversions. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I sent him a message with all of my ideas, my plan, my literally just what I was envisioning for the van, and basically said, do you want to collaborate on the build? And he came back and said, abso-fucking-lutely I do. So that is what we are doing. And the company is called Coles Campers. They're based in Bournemouth in the UK. Literally like an hour or so from my house, which is absolutely perfect for me because it means that it's super easy for me to get the van to him. Basically, what the plan is, I'm paying for all of the materials. Obviously, I don't want someone to be out of pocket. He, in turn, is going to very kindly do the build for me for free. And then in turn, obviously, I'm filming everything. I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to document everything, shout him out on YouTube, give him content, and we're just going to make a good thing of it. And then obviously when the van's done, I'm going to be traveling as much as possible, and I can just send him a shit ton of content of the van when it's done to help promote his brand. But as of today, the build starts in 4 days. So I am absolutely buzzing. I'm not going to talk about what we're putting inside the van in this video. That's something you have to stick around for, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the whole build out series. But I'm not going to be telling you how we're doing everything, because that's not what this channel's about. But what I plan to do in those videos is tell you what we're putting in the van, what we're doing, and why. I think that makes a bit more sense and ties a bit more into what I do. And then from there, still getting the whole electrical set in there. I've been lucky enough to team up with another company, Alpha Batteries, another UK-based camper van company. They supply electrical sets for vans essentially, and they've sent me out an entire electrical set very, very kindly for me to put in my van. So they've sent me a solar panel, they sent me a power inverter, they've sent me a battery that's like the same weight and size as the van. They've they've sent me everything that I could possibly need, which is so kind of them, and I cannot thank them enough for that, because that saved me a ton of money. And basically the same thing, they've sent me that, I'm just gonna do what I do. Everything they've sent me means that I'm gonna have a very nice, high power, comfortable, off-grid living situation in the van. Along with that, working with Cole at Cole's Campers to do the build itself means that the build is gonna be top quality, because his stuff is ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm gonna link Alpha Batteries and Cole's Campers down below. Go and check their stuff out. But Cole's Campers, my God, you guys wait until you see what's coming. So like I said, make sure you stick around, hit that subscribe button, get the notifications on, as this van build out series starts now, and the documentation of it will be coming very, very soon. I am so excited. I cannot wait. Go and check Alpha Batteries out. Go and check Cole's Campers out. Leave me some love. Tell me how excited you are for me to convert this little piece of shit van into an absolute masterpiece. And I will see you in the next camper van video, or EDC video if that's what you're here for. Either way, I'll see you in a van. I can't wait. I'm getting a camper van. How exciting. See you later.